For me, the experience of the Purely Clinical and the Purely Clinical 2.0 is something that is not matched I've ever seen anywhere in the industry, because we're actually sharing knowledge. Because to learn, you also you have to receive. So we're learning and receiving information. Like Francine said earlier, every Purely Clinical has also a new update, because you're learning something from the previous, or you're sharing something from somebody else's experience. So it's a constant, update on what we're learning. So it's beautiful.
I love that.
It's a wonderful experience.
This is a show focused on educating and inspiring all those in the skincare and beauty industry. But it is also a show for those looking to improve themselves from the inside out. In each episode, we explore the latest trends, breakthrough technologies, and get expert insights within the dynamic world of skincare and beauty. If you're looking to further your beauty education and nurture your passion, you're in the right place. Renowned experts and hosts Metaxia and Francine aim to educate and inspire through their own experiences and are dedicated to enlightening and empowering enthusiasts and professionals in the realm of skincare and beauty. Join the conversation and the fun with A SkinDepth Convo. Welcome to SkinDepth Convo. I'm Anna Kagarakis. Metaxia and Francine are hitting the road again for Purely Clinical 2.0. If you're a skincare professional looking to stay ahead of the latest innovations, you're in for a real treat. We'll be diving into one of the most anticipated skincare events in the industry, Purely Clinical 2.0. The global tour is back with cutting-edge ingredient technology, advanced skin condition education, and the latest in barrier-building science to professionals around the globe. And if you've attended Purely Clinical before, should you attend again? Well, the answer is a resounding yes. We'll explain what's to come at this year's session, as well as the incredible tools and takeaways attendees can expect. To get all the answers, we'll go straight to the experts themselves. Let's welcome in part of the founders of Lyra Clinical, Metaxia and Francine Kagarakis. Ladies, you have your luggage ready to go.
On the road again. On the road again.
Hitting the road
Get
again.
ready.
I think I need a new suitcase. My other one's pretty beaten up. So I'm excited to go get a new suitcase for this next tour that we're doing.
I swear you're always getting new suitcases. They are. I've seen the
They're
best
lining
design
up in
suitcases.
a garage.
They're lining up, but it's so exciting to go out again. It's been a few months since we've been out. I think we did the holidays once the holidays came around. But now we're back out and very excited to hit the road. And we're going to be doing this in just a few weeks. And we have a whole new theme that we've been working on. We are changing it up, making it something very unique. And we hear what everyone is saying around the world. We have always been out there, and our goal was to make sure everyone understood the physiology of the skin, understood what ingredients do, and understand how peels work with the skin. But we've heard a few things from a lot of our people all over the world, and we're changing Purely Clinical 2.0 up just a little from the last Purely Clinical.
Well, I think it's important, like you said, Anna, earlier, what is the difference? And last year was success. But what difference that we see now, what we need to do now is deal with the conditions, understanding first the conditions of the skin and understanding what the skin needs. So it's a total opposite of way we approach the way we are teaching these classes. So we're going to talk about the conditions. We're going to understand what protocols are necessary to get the results, simplify the message, actually give one more protocol to advance a treatment if necessary, and to maintain the results, which is really important. It's not just a protocol for a condition. It's really a program plan and understanding that there is multiple things we could do to actually get the results and, lessen the actual condition or correct it. We're going to share some protocols and show the before and afters to support what we're doing and actually maintain the results longer. So it's really exciting. It's a whole new way we're approaching Purely Clinical. That's why it's called Purely Clinical 2.0.
Yeah, I love that you call it Purely Clinical 2.0 because you're adding on to what was already a very successful event. You traveled all around the world and you had so many wonderful people talking about the cutting edge technology of the ingredient and, what Lyra Clinical is doing, how they're improving the skin. But, what's something that people were asking for last year? Because everybody loved the technology and the ingredients, but what's something that people were asking for last year that you're really addressing and hitting hard this year?
The answer. What they want is to know which protocol does what. If somebody walks in with acne or somebody comes in with hyperpigmentation, what protocol do I go to? That's always been the issue. We still believe in talking about the physiology of the skin because it is so very important to know why we chose this particular protocol. And this is where we're going. So now we're going to be addressing the skin condition first. And this was hard for us because when we were doing the presentation, we kept going back to our comfort zone where we talk about the physiology and what the ingredients do. Now we're talking about the protocol. We are also releasing something so very exciting and something very, very new. And we've always had a manual with protocols. We are now releasing a protocol pedia. Even the name
is the takeaway.
The big protocol pedia. And if I remember, marketing team came up with that and we're saying, it's an encyclopedia of protocols to understand why we're using it, why we're using these particular protocols for those particular skin conditions. So even changing our thought process is so fun and so different, but we're still trying to go back to a little bit of physiology, but we have to remind people why the peels work, because Lyra is also fantastic about making sure that we progress with each peel. So we're giving them the answers in the beginning and giving them a guidance on how to grow.
Well, I think Instagram has shown us that people love to see the before and afters. So what is the solution, like Francine said earlier, the answers to some of these corrections? And it's nice to be able to have our accounts be able to actually show before and afters with a formula that gives you the correction. And the Protocolpedia, which it took me a couple times to practice to get it right, is going to be more of a recipe book of correction. And it's really nice that we can actually simplify the message because our Smart Peel system has so many different opportunities, but to kind of hone into the actual condition with the answer is the whole art of this Purely Clinical 2.0. And I think it's exciting because before and afters talk, but the facts of the protocols will support the correction.
That is what they've been asking for. Even though we have a manual and we have many different treatment guides that we have out there, they still want that Protocolpedia. They still want to know, okay, they have acne. Where do I begin? Or if somebody comes in for hyperpigmentation, where do I begin? The Protocolpedia is the guide to where do I begin and where we go from GPS 1 to 2. And then from there, our beautiful, wonderful trainers are going to go ahead and help them to go even further. So there's so many more answers than ever before.
And the key thing, where do you start? But then how do you maintain it? Because what we've learned in the last Purely Clinical is, we love the correction, but 12 months later, 2 years later, where are they at? So it's more than just giving a correction or that moment of, oh my God, that aha moment that you got a correction. How do you maintain it? How do you keep their skin healthy and balanced? And that's the key. It's the long-term benefits that we're looking for too with this Protocolpedia, which I have to practice all the time.
And it's also very important for the client to understand there's a maintenance program involved. And this becomes important because your skin goes right back to where it was before if you don't maintain that correction that you've done in clinic. So this is what we have to do is how do we discuss this in clinic and how we go forward, letting them to understand that now we're starting the cellular change on the skin and now we have to maintain it. So this is very, very important. And this is where you're seeing more and more results.
Great. And I think it's great too because professionals have to kind of stuff their brain with so much information. There's so many different conditions that need to be addressed and different types of skin that need to be addressed. And I think it's important to have something that they can physically take with them and say, okay, let me refer to this. I remember learning this at Purely Clinical, but now they can refer to it and then see how you can get those long-term effects and long-term benefits that are really, really important to maintain, as you're saying, over time. So I think that's fantastic where you're not just solving the problem now, you're solving it for the future as well.
And a key thing, we're still going to have the interactive part We're still going to introduce some new technology. We're still going to have some new peels. So it's not just talking about conditions. You're going to be part of an experience. It's really nice to be able to be with your peers and the professionals in your region. Purely Clinical 2.0, we're having people come from all over the United States, and actually some international people will be attending. But it is that interactive experience. You're going to be in a room full of professionals. And we want to maintain I would say, our knowledge, because things are changing and it's important to keep up with the changes in the industry.
Well, let's also talk about this in the past, because you've gone to the far reaches of the globe when it comes to Purely Clinical. You've gone everywhere. But where are some of the places that you're heading this year? Can you highlight a few?
Well, I think we have 4 countries in 2 weeks coming up really quickly.
We're going to Finland. We're doing an introduction to Purely Clinical 2.0. And we're also going to Norway. And so we're also going to Australia. And we're also going to Trinidad again. We haven't been to Trinidad for a while, a couple of years. So we're going back to Trinidad. And we're still talking about other countries at the same time. But Metaxia brought up a huge point that we're doing destination locations. Yeah. So, we have New Orleans, Boston, Seattle. I think we have Chicago. We have different places that we're going. So these are great destinations. So you could take a little time, take a little vacation, and also take in the fun that we're going to have at this event, because Metaxia is right. The interaction with each other, and to get to know all of our partners in this seminar and in this Purely Clinical is huge, because we get to know you, you get to know us. It's hands-on. You get to understand what a peel does. You get to feel the product. And we're going to be introducing reformulations, new products, and also new protocols as we deliver them, because this is not only one day and it's the same for all year round. As we learn new technology and as we learn new ideas about protocols, we always share them. This is ongoing. It's not just one protocol and be done. This is something we share with people. We let them understand the experience that everyone is having around the world. Not one Purely Clinical 2.0 or Purely Clinical in the past was the same, because every time we go to a new Purely Clinical, there's always the experience of the last ones that are shared in Purely Clinicals.
Well, it's important also relationships. I'm finding that professionals like to tap to another region or another area and seeing what's going on. So you'll sit next to someone that might not be from your area and really share your knowledge. It's important. Purely Clinicals were set up for that, us as an industry to connect. This industry is all about connections, and connections with your clients and patients, but connections with your professionals in the industry. So for me, being in a room with a peer, or being in the room that you could ask a question and really have an honest answer face to face, to me is so valuable. For me, the experience of the Purely Clinical and the Purely Clinical 2.0 is something that is not matched I've ever seen anywhere in the industry, because we're actually sharing knowledge. Because to learn, you have to receive. So we're learning and receiving information. Like Francine said earlier, every Purely Clinical has also a new update, because you're learning something from the previous, or you're sharing something from somebody else's experience. So it's a constant, update on what we're learning. So it's beautiful.
I love that.
It's a wonderful experience.
I mean, that's fantastic. That's a big part in itself. Like you said, you can either go to a Purely Clinical event because it's in your region and you want to get to know other people in your region, or if you want to take that destination, like you want to go check out Bourbon Street, someplace you've always wanted to go to, and happen to meet people from there and really gain different knowledge. I think it's fantastic. And you never know that you might learn something from somebody else too, or learn that if you go to one different region of the world, that they deal with certain conditions more than other places, which is kind of a cool thing to discuss. But you kind of also talked about building, we talk about technology, building the barrier. That's a major, major theme we discussed. So what's the latest technology for taking care of the skin barrier?
It's Francine's favorite, your favorite conversation, Fran.
Liposalvation. We released these new peels. There's 2 new peels about liposalvation in the fall of last year. When we released it, we have people loving it all over the world. But now we're going to share the next step with liposalvation. So we're talking about how we're using our liposalvation, but we're also going to be talking about Lyra's sneak peek to Lyra Clinical's new liposalvation. So this is very exciting, because the barrier is what makes us look younger and healthier. So we do need to make sure A lot of professionals understand how to correct the skin, but to keep the skin in its supple, younger looking, healthy state. That makes the biggest difference. So showing the correct way to peel has always been about Lyra Clinical, and we are going to introduce some of the new information and share it with everyone.
We've experienced these treatments on ourselves and our famous mother that we've done a treatment, and we're going to have fun. We're going to have fun because
what you've done to mom.
Yeah, but you're going to see that we truly do it on ourselves, on our staff, on our family members. But you'll experience and you'll see that it's not the pH of someone's skin, it's the delivery, like Francine said. It's the experience, it's the change of what we've learned from the past and the corrections, because it's all about the health of the skin. And it's important to understand that things have given us, these new peels have given us opportunities that we didn't have before. So I'm excited to share some of the experiences that we've learned on this journey preparing for the 2.0.
We also, a lot of the clients already know this, we call it GPS, but understanding how to take our smart peels and progress with them to make them even better. So we're giving also protocols in the Protocolpedia. We're showing them how to progress with it and also explaining how to use all our smart peels correctly and understanding the skin conditions and which protocols to use.
Be prepared. Be prepared to do interactive, hands-on experience. Be prepared, guys. Coming to the Purely Clinical, you're going to walk away with an aha moment. Look what I've done to my skin and the correction and the plumping and the brightness that Lyra Clinical offers. So it's going to be experience.
I think that's a huge, huge factor. That's something, the hands-on experience is something that's so incredibly important, because you can't just, you could attend as many, webinars, which are fantastic. You can attend every type of online class, which is wonderful, but it's the hands-on that really just solidify the education that you're learning and really getting in there. And also having both of you there, I think, is something that's so incredibly important, because people can ask you those questions. You're the experts. You're the ones that they want to talk to and really gain that knowledge from. So I can say this myself, that you're somebody that people are very excited to see and to hear from you, but also be able to talk to you and ask you those questions are so very important.
And you're going to be in the first one, if I'm not mistaken, Anna.
Yes.
You're going to do, so we're going to have to use you also as a testimonial. So we need to get our hands on you too.
I'll be there.
Yes,
I'll be there.
We want, so you could share your experience on your skin too.
Oh yeah, we've talked about it a bit on here, but I'm definitely happy to do that as well.
We're also going to show what we agree on and what we don't agree on.
Yes.
Oh, that's going to be a lot of fun. So you're going to get to see us really do our thing, because remember, Metaxia's skin is different than mine. And we do address how everybody's different. And this is why customization is so very, very important. And understand what works on certain people does not work on another person. So it's very important to understand how and when to use certain protocols and make sure you understand the conditioning and maintenance.
There's no black and white in aesthetics. It's all on gray. And for example, we differ, which is important because you might differ from another colleague. So it's important to understand is what that person needs, that specializing a treatment, personalizing a treatment for someone coming in your room is where it's all at. Understanding that it's not, here's your answer. It is customizing the actual protocol. So the fact that we disagree, it's a good thing, because you'll see that we have opinions. And I'm hoping everyone that's coming there will have an opinion and will learn something to take back to their clinics.
Well, another thing that I think is really important to touch up on is the nature of the business itself. And for that, I actually want to bring in an article that was recently published from Aesthetics Insights. Now, total revenues for 2025 are forecast to grow only $22.5 billion, which represents a dramatic decrease in growth versus the prior 25 years of analytical data. This was compiled by Medical Insight. Also, leadership from Allergan Aesthetics is reporting a major reduction in year-over-year sales and growth, blaming the downturn in facial injectables demand on a combination of economic and cultural shift factors, including ongoing inflation, low consumer confidence, and the GLP-1 weight loss trend that's sweeping the world. Now, another factor is competition from rising brands, along with patient fatigue due to cumulative costs and the frequency of injections. Now, despite these challenges, this industry has been incredibly resilient in the past, but how will you actually address the economic uncertainty right now and help businesses for help in planning for the future?
It is important to remember that this is an industry that people will always invest in if it is cost effective and they get results. And we're able to deliver this. It is so important to make sure we maintain the skin, the canvas that everybody sees daily. And what we do is we make sure that these treatments stay cost effective and show results. They need to maintain them and be able to see the difference. Make sure that when you're doing these treatments on your clients, you take a before picture and ongoing picture so they're able to see those results. The investment is very small for such great results.
The economy is really sometimes unpredictable and people are more cautious. And the derma fillers and the Botox are the best. I mean, I definitely agree with them. But if you're going to skip a service and you need to maintain your skin, you need to have the peels, which has been the foundation of aesthetics. The peels have always offered a correction or an access to the skin. So if the economy is shifting, our peels are there to support the treatments in clinic to have ongoing skin correction, which is important. And like Francine says, home care and home treatments are 80% of the correction. So if you skip Botox and continue your home care and your peels and coming to your clinic, to your aesthetic professional, you're going to find that you can maintain the correction longer. I also think that being aware of the economy is important.
Yep.
If you see that people are not making the appointments, maybe having a discount 2 and 1 free or 4 and 1, free, but understanding that the economy is really a concern, having cost-efficient treatments, having opportunities and specials to have them continue to come in is really important. But the industry is changing. The skin is changing too, like you mentioned about, losing weight and all of these new Ozempic kind of opportunities. The skin changes too with that. So we have to understand that you can shift, you could offer new protocols, you can maintain the skin's wellness with that change with those new weight lossing opportunities that we see out there.
And it's important for them to know that when they're using certain products, clinical has become very, very popular around the world. If they're going to spend money on a product, especially even home care, they want to make sure that product works. And if it does, they will spend that little more amount of money is needed to get the results that they need. So clinical skincare is what people are looking for, and more consumers understand what ingredients do. So they're looking for products that work, and they're looking for influencers that are showing before and afters and showing the results. So you have a very smart population now that know what to look for. And what's key is to make sure that all of our professionals market themselves in a way where they're able to share that information with their clients so their clients understand why they're using it and why they maintain the treatments and the home care that they're doing. It makes a huge difference because consumer confidence is what they're going to be able to give their clients when they're happy of what they're using. Sometimes they'll spend that little more money, or maybe they're not going to use as many products, but they will continue using products and going in for a treatment.
I think, Anna, the economy plays a big factor in business. So we have to be aware that, and that article is very valuable for me because it showed me that we have to be aware that people might not book every 4 to 6 weeks. How do I get them to continue coming in, making it cost efficient for them, understanding that home care will support that. Being aware of the economy is part of the aesthetic industry too, understanding that things change. And there might be a hike in Botox and dermal fillers, but there might be, and lasers, but there might be a lesson. So what are we going to do to understand it? Have the pulse of the industry is important. These purely clinical classes are going to talk about that. We're going to share experiences from the professionals telling us what they're seeing. And we're going to be aware. Being aware of the skin, but being aware of the business around us is important.
Wonderful.
But this is why we're adding 2 sections right now. What we said, what the skin needs, and what did you say?
And what the business needs.
That's right. Those are both very, very important moving forward. And that also is a huge part of Purely Clinical 2.0 because they actually work together. When you are successful taking care of the client's skin, your business is successful. And this is what we're working towards, and this is what Purely Clinical 2.0 will be sharing.
Consumer confidence is very huge. Another thing we're going to be exploring, though, is body confidence. Now, also a little sneak peek, we will be having a body confidence episode coming up here on A SkinDepth Convo, but also Purely Clinical. You are also highlighting the importance of the body and taking care of the body. How are you highlighting the body this year?
Wow, that's a big one. And for me, it's if you could change my concept as far as body correction, anyone could change. We are definitely working the body differently than we did in the past. It's not just a lotion. There's more correction that we could do. We could brighten, we could tighten, we could refine the skin in so many different ways. And we need to expand our menus to that. And for our new body line, it's amazing what it does. Your neck, your décolleté, your arms, your legs. I mean, it's just the whole shift has changed as far as body awareness. And we're showing more skin. The body's skin has to be youthful too. It's not going to be covered all the time. You want to expose this youthful, beautiful, glowing skin. And Francine is great because all of a sudden we're talking about the neck, we're talking about décolleté, but the
I
hands.
didn't say anything yet. I was just about to say something, and you said Francine said I didn't even have my.
You remember? Okay. I remember. No, I remember talking about it. It doesn't matter. It was from the neck up. It's now the neck down. The arms. You always have beautiful glowing skin. I look at your skin. I'm thinking, oh my God, what do you do? And it is understanding. What did you do? The bronzer with the souffle?
With the silk souffle.
Silk souffle. Oh my God, your skin looks flawless.
The industry has changed, and what's happening, and more body treatments are what Medi-spas are offering, and more we have to change. Lyra Clinical has even changed because we used to call it a spa line. Now we call it Lyra Clinical's body line. And the body line is the approach of peptide technology. So we're building up the skin because when you're dealing with crepey skin, we have to deal with exfoliation and we have to deal with the breakdown of collagen and elastin. So this is where the approach is different, and we have always been there, but now we have intensified it. We've done some reformulation, and we're focusing and targeting the body, even with body peels, targeting body conditions, the arms, like you said, the neck, the décolleté, the arms, the legs, the whole body. Even the whole body, as Cleopatra did in the old days with lactic acid, with sour milk baths. We've also taken that approach. We've always known it, but now we're highlighting it even more because you're right. There is a huge amount of people now interested because they know what we can do for the face, neck, and décolleté. And now we do even the hands, the arms, everything matters because your neck shows your age, your hands show your age, your knees show your age. We're able to deal with the entire body. And we are going to touch on that in Purely Clinical 2.0.
I have to tell you, Fran, my knees, Francine said about the knees, I'm using our new firming and I noticed a difference. I go, okay, she was right again. It's like, you just kind of worry about getting ready and not focusing on the full body. And I have now all of a sudden been more aware of it. Brenda has talked about it too, body. And I see the difference. And it's really important. I feel more confident to wear shorter sleeves. I feel more confident. It really makes a difference. And I have to say I was more resistant, but I've learned that if I can learn and see the correction, everybody else could benefit.
In Trinidad, we were talking to the distributor. We're talking about pro pads, incorporating the pro pads, the pro corrective pads, which we're going to be calling them soon. Sneak peek of what we're doing. I probably should have said that. Should bleep it out or something, but it's okay. The pro pads, how we're using it for the body, and we're actually rewriting a few things for the Trinidad Purely Clinical 2.0 because of how they're using our pro pads. This is the difference that we're showing. So everything that we believe in and how we get results on the face, neck, and décolleté, we're doing for the whole body. And that's also important because more and more people see that we can get results in the body.
We're getting it from the head, shoulders, knees, and toes, all of the above, right? We're getting it all over the head, shoulders, knees, and toes. And that's the best part. You do get some secrets here on the podcast, and you also get secrets at Purely Clinical 2.0. So you're going to get all kinds of great secrets from Fran and Metaxia here right now. And one of the things I'm also really excited about is part of your takeaways. You have your Protocolpedia that's coming out, but you also have the body guide, the first body guide that's coming out too. So that's another thing that people get takeaway as well, right?
Body treatments. Oh my God. Body treatments are beautiful body treatments.
Body treatments where we incorporate a lot of the smart peels with the body. And every so often we use some other products too, but it's very important to remind people that every part of the body is important and we can deliver it.
Now, here's my question. Who can actually sign up for Purely Clinical? who can sign up? Who can come out and join you?
Skincare professionals.
Yeah.
And that ranges from an esthetician, nurse, doctors, anybody who is in the industry.
Business owners too.
Business owners. That's true. We have had a lot of business owners, so they could understand that they could incorporate more of clinical skincare in their clinics and see how they're important and bring in the right professional to be able to fulfill that need that's needed in their spa or clinic or salon.
And it's important too to understand the cost. We want to be aware of the cost per treatment. Some of the business owners, I was impressed coming in to understand what the esthetician or what the professional needed, and it's great. Or nurses and bring their doctors, their medical directors, they come in because they want to understand the industry to kind of blend it together with some of the services they're doing in the dermis. So there's a lot of different professionals coming in for many different reasons. In the end, what you're going to understand is that you're going to understand the skin needs, full body. You're going to understand the business needs, the whole business as far as from aesthetics to the medical, to the medi-spas. And you're going to be part of that aesthetic industry. It's not separate anymore. We'll actually join these forces together and work hand in hand together.
Wonderful. And then how do people sign up?
You could sign up on our website, through our reps, through our social media. You could ask about it everywhere. You can go to our website, will be number one.
All right, perfect. Well, a lot of exciting things coming up ahead for Purely Clinical 2.0. It's going to be a lot of fun. And again, if you want to find out more information and check out all the wonderful locations where you can find Metaxia and Francine for Purely Clinical 2.0, go to lyraclinical.com. You'll see the full list of where they will be traveling this year. And it is definitely a fun road trip ahead for these two. So it's going to be a lot of fun. And don't miss a minute of the show. Make sure to subscribe to the podcast on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, or any of your other favorite podcast platforms. Plus, you can watch the show on YouTube at Lyra Clinical's YouTube page. Also, the video is now on Spotify. So if you want to watch it there as well, you can go there too. So it's a lot of fun. We just found this out. I'm very excited about this one too. But don't forget to follow our social media channels at SkinDepth Convo on Instagram, Facebook, and TikTok. And you could also email Francine and Metaxia your questions at info@skindepthconvo.com. That's info@skindepthconvo.com. So exciting stuff coming up for Purely Clinical 2.0. You do not want to miss it. Thank you all again for joining us. And thank you both for telling us what's to come for this year's Purely Clinical.
Thank you, Anna. We're excited to see people who came before and new people coming this year.
Wonderful. And I can tell you, check out the new website. We have a beautiful new website.
It is beautiful.
So it's a beautiful new website. And there'll be a secret little gift given to everybody for coming. So you'll be surprised.
I like secrets. I like excitement. Everybody loves gifts. Like, you get this, you get that. You guys are like Oprah. You're giving everything out to everybody.
We'd love to be able to say, you get one. Yes.
Yes.
I love it. Well, thank you again so much. And remember, go to Lyra Clinical's website, lyraclinical.com, to sign up for Purely Clinical 2.0. And for all of us here at A SkinDepth Convo, I'm Anna Kagrakis, and we'll talk to you next time.
This podcast is brought to you by Lyra Clinical and the award-winning Mystique Illuminating Beauty Oil. Mystique Beauty Oil's amazing skin-friendly hydration delivers potent antioxidants and anti-inflammatories with Lyra Clinical's exclusive Mass Tech brightening technology. This luxury oil blend is infused with vitamin C for a clean, dry finish on the skin. Use by itself or add to your favorite hydrator. Beauty oil delivers your glow and go look. Contact your local Lyra retailer for additional information at lyraclinical.com.